Yeah, and so Manuel, and also I'm still thinking about this Danny Phantom Sam Manson in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the
Hey,
most gigantic
the,
crush on who
hey
she's hot.
Elijah. Also, me and Manuel, we also talked about something what happened yesterday that I accidentally did.
What did you
Well,
do?
well,
It's
I'll
a
explain him. I'll explain him, Alan. I'll explain him.
okay. Tell
Okay.
him.
So this is my friend on TikTok. His name is Diesel 10 does stuff. I know him. His name's Timothy. I know him because I have him added on Roblox. And what happened was
Hi.
that he replied a video a comment that Alan said, and it said, quote, Thomas is more better than My Little Pony. But then he responded by doing something go like, bro, you just posted cringe or something.
What he means?
Too good.
But it's just that I just don't like My Little Pony.
Okay, yeah,
Because of the
but
Pinkie Pie nightmare you have. The same with you, Manuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
But there's something
I
else
really don't
too.
want to
I
get
mean, like,
reminded that.
Hello.
Hey,
Oh,
lads.
hey, what up, bro?
Hello, Elbow.
What's up,
Hello,
Elijah?
Stratford Studios. You're the new
What's up,
guest.
Elijah?
What's up, Stratford Studios? Wait, you
Ever since I learned about ever since I learned the end of discussion quote, Amphibia is now one of my favorite shows.
Stratford
So I'm putting that in my favorite
Yes.
list.
And also, Manuel, do you know an end of discussion, just like Sasha and Rita from the Loud House?
And don't forget about Edward that said
Newfangled nonsense.
Yeah.
Newfangled
That
nonsense.
just ruined
Newfangled
Edward.
nonsense.
Yeah.
That just ruined
And
Edward's
Stratford
character.
Studios.
Yes.
You saw my
just
TikTok
ruined
videos.
Edward. It just ruined
Yes.
Edward.
And we're even friends on TikTok.
Mhm.
Wait, you have this British Caledonian Railway
He's a hell of a boss.
locomotive.
He's a hell of a boss fan, and I'm also a hell of a boss fan too.
I'm a hell of a
It's an
boss
Ellie or
fan
Jay
too.
Flashy.
I'm gonna become a hell of a boss fan if I watch the pilot in the series first.
And then the
if I
other
was you, I would
episodes.
prefer watch the pilot version in season 1 because they made already 2 seasons. Actually, they made 2 seasons. They're just 2.
And
seasons
yeah,
early.
but without the
Tomorrow
way,
is the second anniversary of Haluva Boss because Haluva Boss came out on October 31st, 2020.
Oh, on Halloween! Wow, perfect.
But
nice.
don't forget about the pilot's release.
Oh,
and
that's
also
true. That's true. You gotta
But
put it-
but without delay, let's talk today's topic, and we are live here.
We've been live since
on
like 2 minutes ago,
Discussion
dude.
Activities.
Also, I forgot.
It's already been 2 minutes,
I
mate.
also forgot to tell Elijah
It's been
that,
2 minutes and we're already.
I also forgot to tell Elijah that if
So which locomotive do
something
you wanna
makes me
talk
think about
at
doing
Steamtown
again, I gotta
first?
think twice to not
Wait,
do
everyone
it, right,
quiet down.
Manuel?
Everyone quiet down. Let
Which
Lisa talk.
locomotive do you want to talk about Steamtown first?
Steamtown.
We'll start with the ones that
Aldo.
visit Steamtown. We'll start.
Steamtown.
We'll start with New Susquehanna 142. I'm gonna send you the link, Manuel.
Aldo.
Go ahead. You can just put it in the comments.
Hey, Aldo.
Good.
I'm gonna send it to you on.
But Alicia, did you enjoy my live stream about the digital art?
My boy
Yeah,
got
I
the diet
did,
Mountain
even-
Dew.
I tried
gonna
my
send it
best
to
to
you
do a
on
lot of artwork. Come on, guys.
Hey,
I've been-
again, man, you're learning.
Yeah, I know. I'm learning, dude. Dude, I
Wait
stopped
a
doing
minute,
it 2 months ago.
I know which one we can talk about.
Which one?
What?
Are
We
gonna
should talk about
the
Susquehanna
AC-11 cab
142.
forward?
What about
The
Cotton
cab
Belt
forward
Train?
is not at Steamtown. The cab forward is there's only one existing one at the California State Railway
Hey,
Museum.
someone stop breathing in your mic, please.
But here's the Susquehanna 142.
Okay, got it. Let me just copy and paste, and then just press the link to it, and
And
that's it.
then we'll take turns
That's
reading
the
that
magic of the
Wikipedia
computers,
article,
dude. That's the
right?
magic about the computers.
Yeah.
That's so magic of them. Okay, I got it. I got the link for it. You want me to start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Okay.
Go.
And then it's in my throat. All right. Okay. New York, Susquehanna, and Western.
It's
number
Susquehanna.
142. Oh, Susquehanna. Okay. Western number 142 is an SY class 2-8-2 made. Wait, what's it called? Mikado.
Mikado.
Mikado. Oh, okay. Mikado. Type steam locomotive built by the Tangshan Locomotive Works in 1989 in China for the Valley Railroad in Essex, Connecticut. Oh wow, there's actually a word there.
Yep.
Okay, just ignore that.
God,
Just
you're
ignore that.
butchering a lot of words.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. It ran on the Valley Railroad in 1990 and 1991 as their number 1647. the Susquehanna Railroad purchased an identical locomotive from Tangshan in 1991, but the ship carrying it sank in the Bay of Bangchang or something. Wait, no, not Bangchang. It's Bengal. Bengal. Okay, Bengal. In 1992, the Susquehanna brought the 6047 from the valley and renumbered it to number 142. Today, it is owned by the New York Susquehanna and the Western Technical Historical Society and operated on excursions out of Philippines,
Phillipsburg.
Phillipsburg. Yeah, sorry, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Yep.
And one fun thing about the 142, during the 1995 grand opening of Steamtown National Historic Site as a national park, same year where Canadian Pacific 12th City incident occurred, it also visited Steamtown too.
Oh, really?
Now let's start with the next locomotive that went to Steamtown,
Right,
which is the Reading and Northern.
Hey, I want to do this one.
You should do Reading and Northern 425.
Oh, and
By the
I
way, I have another question too, Alicia. Like, remember from
10 minutes ago I did a
10 years of
TikTok
Thomas
video.
Engine?
If you'll see it soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were those kind of engines? Like, I know you're like a locomotive rail fanner. Like, do you know what type of locomotives that were used in the Day Out with Thomas from the 10 years of Thomas?
That was Strasbourg number 90.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
But it looked similar to Reading and Northern 425 with its smokebox mounted number plate. But when 425 got its look back as a headlight, it looked different.
Bro, I wish I could go out of the Day Out with Thomas, dude. Honestly, I mean, I did win one time.
All right,
There's
so
also a Day Out with
Stratford
Thomas in New
Productions,
Jersey.
Stratford Productions.
There's
Here
one
is
in
the
Pennsylvania
information of the
too.
Reading and Northern 425.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Make sure to copy and paste this link.
Copy.
Yeah, just copy and paste, and that's it. Dude. All right, while you guys do that, I'm just gonna drink my Pepsi.
I'm drinking Dr. Pepper right now.
Oh yeah.
And I'm eating blue heat talkies.
Hey Alan.
Hey, bro,
Are you
you got
actually eating
Coca-Cola?
Yes,
Louis
right.
Talkies?
Let me see. Yeah, YouTube.
Yes.
Coca-Cola. Just joking.
Just like
Sorry.
just like the character Bluey, which was featured in the Talkies, but it's different.
All right, I'm about to start reading.
All right, go
The
ahead. Bro.
425.
Let me see.
Read
All
the
right,
history.
make sure everyone's quiet though.
Reading Blue Mountain and Northern Railroad 425 is a 462 light Pacific type steam locomotive, originally built in 1928 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works for the Gulf, Mobile, and Northern Railroad. After the GMN was consolidated into the Gulf, Mobile, and Ohio in 1940, the locomotive was renumbered to number 580 and served in passenger service before retirement in 1950. The locomotive is currently owned and operated by the Reading and Northern, based out of Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, an excursion service. Starting at the end of 2022, number 425 will be taken out of service for its mandatory FRA 1,472-day inspection.
Now you can read the history.
Yep.
Okay. Number 425 was built in January 1928 for the Gulf. Didn't I just read this part?
I think you did.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I
you
read
should
like the
skip that.
top.
You read the top.
I'll
one.
read the
You should-
20th century excursion one.
Yeah,
Okay.
you should do that.
Quickly after retirement, numbers 580 and 582 were purchased by Paulson Spence as part of his Louisiana Eastern Railroad. Both 580 and 582 were renumbered to number 4 and 3, respectively, as part of a large fleet of steam engines, which Spence had acquired over time, and hauled trains from gravel and occasional passenger trips. When Spence died in 1961 and the Louisiana Eastern collapsed, number 3 was sold for scrap, along with most of the line's engines. While number 4 was purchased in 1962 by Malcolm Otten.
Yeah.
Malcolm I'm trying not to butcher this word.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
It's Malcolm
skip it.
Atanga.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Malcolm Atanga, and became the main power of the Valley Forge Scenic Railroad of Kimberton, Pennsylvania, which is also regained its original number, 425. In the 1970s, it was purchased by Brian Woodcock and others. It moved to Wilmington and Western Railroad, though it never operated on the line due to its high axle load. In 1983, it was sold to Andrew J. Muller, Jr. to power tourist trains on the newly formed Blue Mountain and Reading Railroad, based out of Temple, Pennsylvania. The engine made many runs on this 26-mile short line, and as well as a few trips on the main line. The high-stepping Pacific was later joined by Reading T1480 Northern 2102. In 1985, the Blue Mountain and Reading became much larger than with the purchase of nearly 300 miles of former Conrail trackage throughout the early 1990s.
Wow.
The railroad was renamed to Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern, often shortened to Reading and Northern. In 1995, both names officially merged, having more tracks give the 425 and 2102 a large number of new areas to roam, and the engines became based out of the railroad's own headquarters of Port Clinton. It became a double-header with the number 2102 in 1988. In 1992, number 425 was repainted into a new dark royal blue paint scheme as opposed to its new original black livery. The number 425 locomotive made a guest appearance at the Steamtown National Historic Site grand opening in July 1995, along with several other steam locomotives, including Baldwin Locomotive Works 26, Canadian Pacific 2317, Canadian National 3254, New York Susquehanna and Western 142, and Milwaukee Road 2261, and pulled a number of excursion trips out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. 425's last excursion was the Tamaqua Fall Fest on October 13th, 1996, when steam operations on the RBNN began to cease until 2008. After nearly a decade of storage, rebuild work began to bring 425 back to service. Following 2 years of restoration, the Pacific made its first operation under steam on December 29th, 2007, in a partially repainted appearance. Another test run was done on May 10th to 11th, 2008, where the engine debuted in a new lighter blue color and an above-centered headlight. It made its return to excursion service in June 2008 on a road trip to Port Clinton to Jim Dorp.
Also here in the Instagram call. He's also
run it
on the live.
Okay.
A run it would make awesome. The RBMN's new star made many trips to Jim Dorp and others locations over the next 3 years with new employee runs.
Because Alex is bothering him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey guys.
Yeah, what's up?
Scenic
Look,
Railway.
Well, dude, hurry up. Let's let this guy finish reading. Go ahead, dude. Just go ahead.
I'm almost done anyway. And a
let this
featured
guy finish reading.
attraction of the 2010 NRHS convention. After 3 successful seasons of excursions, Reading and Northern 425 was taken out of service to be repaired with the pilot and trailing chucks rebuilt by the Strasburg Railroad, including conversion from plain bearings to more efficient roller bearings, rebuilding of the air compressor, a new blower and replacing the bottom part of the smoke box. Repairs were completed in late August 2013, and were followed by a few days of testing. The 425's first public outdating after her overhaul was a return to Steamtown for the first time in 18 years for its annual Rail Fest. The number 425 locomotive later operated on numerous trips out of Port Clinton, and it also double-headed with recently restored Central Railroad of New Jersey number 060 number 113 on several trips. In August 2015, number 425 was pulling regular passenger trains when it visited Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, meeting Nickel Plate Road 765 on a Norfolk Southern 21st Century steam excursion. On the 4th of September 2017, number 425 struck a car on the tracks, leaving a parking lot in Jim Thorpe. The driver was uninjured. On August 13, 2022, number 425 double-headed with number 2102 for the first time since 1988 to pull the Iron Horse Rambles train from Reading to Jim Thorpe. After running its last excursions on November 5th and 6th, 2022, number 425 would eventually take out of service for its mandatory FRA 1472 day inspection.
Okay.
All right.
It?
So,
Yeah.
Wow, it actually surprised that
So,
that no one was hurt. That's
So
amazing.
I'm gonna read another locomotive that also visited Steamtown, which is Milwaukee Road 261. So
Oh, by the way, someone actually made a profile picture for me. Actually, look,
That actually looks pretty good.
someone made a fan art about it.
Oh wow, not bad.
Yeah, I give credit to that guy because that guy put a lot of effort to do it. So I give credit.
yeah, but anyways, let's do the Milwaukee Road 261 steam locomotive that also visited Steamtown. So here we go. Milwaukee Road 261. This locomotive was built by the American Locomotive Company, aka Alco, in July of 1944. Number 261 was originally operated by the Milwaukee Road. The locomotive, weighing 460,000 pounds, 210 kilograms, is rated at a maximum of 45,000 horsepower, 3,400 kW, and a maximum speed of 100 miles an hour, and is coal-fueled. It operated on the railroad, pulling mostly freight trains on the eastern portions of the route, but was also skilled at pulling fast passenger trains as well. It was assigned to the Milwaukee Division by March of 1954. It was then retired in August of 1956 and was eventually donated to the National Railway Museum in Green Bay, Wisconsin. As the new museum's first acquisition, 261 was moved to the museum site in 1988.
My God!
What happened?
Look, this.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Make sure to not.
No, copyright.
It's all engines go.
Is that Ghosty Boy in the background? I see him in the
that is
background.
it.
Hey, Ghosty Boy!
Gracie C. Boy, calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. Make sure to mute your mic.
Yes, you need to calm down, dude.
Yeah, everyone calm down, okay? Everyone respect each other, okay?
End of the discussion, just like
As
Sasha
a
and Rita.
friendly Peter Family Guy.
You
So I
think
love
on
that
nonsense.
quote. I love that quote.
Junior.
Yeah,
All right, let's continue.
go ahead.
So, then in 1991, the newly formed North Star Rail selected the 261 for restoration for mainline excursions. It was selected for a variety of reasons. The engine was large enough to handle the expected trains at track speed. It featured several modern features for a steam locomotive, including easier to maintain roller bearings. It also already had its asbestos lagging removed, which is very expensive to remove for environmental and safety reasons. Finally, the 261's relatively short 10-year service life meant that the engine's boiler is more pristine, meaning it would take less work to rebuild the engine. The North Star Rail and National Rail Museum came to an agreement in November of 1991 for a 10-year lease, which was later renewed 10 years later. 261 was moved from Green Bay to Minneapolis to the GE shops, General Electric, aka GE shops for short, at the Humboldt Yard in September of 1992. There, a full-time staff rebuilt the engine. Work progressed quickly, allowing for a hydraulic test in June of 1993, a test fire-up in July, and eventually restoration completion in September. After passing some FRA inspection in
Back
September 14,
battle.
1993,
Thomas.
the
Versus
engine deadheaded
Thomas.
over Wisconsin Central and first time for its public excursions on September 18th to 19th of 1993. The engine later returned to its home at the leased Burlington North Minneapolis Junction facility. The following year, the T-61 had an extensive season, including excursions on Wisconsin Central and the Twin Cities and Western Railroad. Notably, events included Chocolate City Days, excursions, campaign trains, a short shoot painted as Lackawanna 1661, running over CSX tracks for the famed New England River train, and a wrap-up celebrating the engine's 50th birthday in 1994. The engine also participated at Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and used its grand opening in July of 1995. Over 5 days, 261 deadheaded from Minneapolis to Scranton, Pennsylvania. The locomotive stayed in Scranton for the next year, pulling numerous excursions, including mileage trips, a rare snowplow run, and the first engine to steam doubleheader with Susquehanna and Western SY's 218 Mikado number 142. A Hancock 3-chime whistle was temporarily added to the locomotive and then replaced with an original Santa Fe 6-chime whistle, which remains on it today. But still also keeping its original non-Hancock 3-chime whistle and a Leslie 125 air horn. 261 returned to the Midwest after almost a year at Steamtown. On its way home, the engine made its first runs over the newly formed BNSF Railway. It pulled a few sets of excursions in 1997 and 1998 over BNSF and TCNW trackage. The year of 1998 presented 261 with its biggest assignment yet, and it was the first steam engine to pull BNSF's Employee Appreciation Special. The engine led a BNSF locomotive and a dozen of BNSF's business car fleet around the upper Midwest portion of the BNSF's route. This brought the engine back to Chicago before heading north to North Dakota and Montana, then through Minneapolis and to Iowa before the EAS concluded the Topeka Railroad days. The 261 ended the 1998 operating season after a few more days on the BNSF tracks. The 1999 season was short, with a weekend excursion in May from Minneapolis to Duluth, along with runs on the Lake Superior Railroad Museum's tracks, and another excursion in September. The year 2000 saw 261 leading excursions out of places such as Chicago, Omaha, and Kansas City. The engine also led an AAPRCO private car special on August 1929 to Duluth. The engine then led a long circle trip over the Duluth-Mesabi Iron Range Railroad, as well as the North Shore Railroad system, before heading back home. The 2001 season had excursions out of Minneapolis and Montevideo over BNSF and TCNW tracks during June and July, with a complete set of the Hiawatha passenger cars. The next year, the 261 pulled an almost matching contest between Minneapolis and Chicago. At this point, insurance rates were skyrocketing due to outside events, as well as new Federal Railroad FRA guidelines. The Friends of the 261 had an insurance policy to run through 2002, making these trips among the last time that the group could afford to have 261 solo. In the following months, some major changes were made to the 261's operations, with insurance being too high to charge reasonably ticket prices. The group decided to team up with Amtrak. Amtrak is self-insured, so the added cost of excursion insurance was much less. However, Amtrak requires that all equipment meet Amtrak certification. The engine became the second steam engine to become Amtrak certified, and the Friends of the 261 began to buy or rebuild coaches that would meet Amtrak specifications. The first team up with Amtrak occurred in October of 2003, when the engines returned to the old Milwaukee Road tracks between Minneapolis and Winona, Minnesota. These trips were repeated each year until 2011. Now, in June of 2004, the engine made its first return to visit to Milwaukee since being restored, overnighting on its way to Chicago to participate in the Grand Excursion. An approximate reenactment of the original Grand Excursion
Hey,
of
Aldo.
1854.
Aldo?
It departed from
Yeah.
Chicago, arriving
What?
in Rock Island, Illinois, to
Emmett.
celebrate the 150th
Is that from?
50th anniversary of the first railroad to reach the Mississippi River. Guys,
who you
if
want- yeah, I'm here. What happened?
Guys, if you're playing something that's copyrighted, then I would highly recommend you.
Well, I'm not.
to
Well, first of all,
mute.
I'm on my computer, dude, so you can't hear some of my stuff that I'm watching on YouTube.
I'm not
Yeah,
playing
and
anything.
during
I'm just
and
listening.
during the
I'm not
Grand
playing
Excursion,
anything.
I know it, Aldo.
I mean,
261
I'm
made day
listening
trips
to. I'm
Savannah,
just watching the
Illinois,
video right now, but like
over
I'm
the
just-
Iowa, Chicago, and Eastern Railroad, and the Brewer Junction, Illinois, on the Iowa Interstate Railroad. All right, so let me finish reading.
Oh my God! There's no
Current
way
owner
that I have that many favorites.
and
How?
operator.
Oh no.
Back in the
Look at his
Instagram
head.
call.
I got a lot of favorites when I posted that fan art of Jenny on the
Look at
Witch,
smile.
actually, from
Hey,
the drawing I did. Actually, I posted it in DeviantArt and I ended up getting 10 favorites. Oh wow, that's
Impressive.
quick! And I just posted it for
But
an hour.
anyways, let's
Mhm.
I
continue.
know it, Aldo.
Let's continue.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
on.
sorry.
So,
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
during the Grand Excursion, 261 made day trips to Savannah, Illinois, over the Iowa, Chicago, and Eastern Railroad, to Barrow Junction, Illinois, and the Iowa Interstate Railroad. Current owner and operator of the first railroad line to the Mississippi River. The train then traveled north along IC&E rails near the river, making overnight stops at Dubuque, Iowa, and La Crosse, Wisconsin. The final leg up to the Twin Cities operated in Wisconsin on BNSF trackage.
Hey, there's me.
261 ran excursions from Minneapolis to Duluth via BNSF
I'm
trackage,
building. Yeah,
both 2005 and 2007. 3 June
Hey, boy,
2006
please.
excursions
Please,
were
now.
launched from Milwaukee. A dinner train in Friday, June 13th, to Stewartvent, Wisconsin. And Saturday and Sunday excursions, 24th and 25th, to Wisconsin Dells. For these runs, the train was turned at New Lipson, and these excursions would be repeated in August of 2008. In September 2006, 261 and its train visited Rock Island, Illinois, as part of the River Wave 2006. and
Okay,
Quad
stop breathing in your mic, please.
celebration of the 150th anniversary
I know,
of the
Aldo.
first railroad bridge across the Mississippi River in
Aldo,
1856. As part of the festivities, 261's train was coupled to a pair of Chinese-built QJ2 Santa Fe type steam locomotives, number 69, 88, and 70, 81 by the
I did
Iowa
last
Interstate Railroad
2016.
for a trip to Homestead, Iowa on September 15th, 2006. The next day, 261 was added to run a triple header from Rock Island to Brewer Junction, Illinois. Then on the following day, QJ's pulled the train without the 261 to Muscatine, Iowa. In fact, diesels were not used on any of these excursions. Then in September of 2007, Canadian Pacific H1B 464 Hudson number 2016 and Milwaukee Road 261 reunited for another doubleheader excursion to Winona. No diesels or water cars were used on the trip. The Friends of the 261
Hey,
had helped
Aldo.
the Canadian Pacific Railways' plan and 2016's return to the United States, as well as providing half of the contest to the 2016 lead. Then in May of 2008, 261 was featured
my
on a photo charter
God.
on the Twin Cities and Western Railroad.
Oh,
All right.
oh, wow.
And following this, the engine was moved to Chicago for filming in Public Enemies, a movie based off on the life of John Dillinger and starring Johnny Depp and Kristen Bell. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Definitely,
261
100%.
was built 10 years after Dillinger died, and the engine did fit the bill for a steam engine that could be filmed at Chicago Union Station. The engine's final excursion occurred on September 2008 on Canadian Pacific's ex-Milwaukee Road line from Minneapolis to Winona. with a return on BNSF's ex-Burlington Northern Line from La Crosse to Minneapolis. Following the engine being pulled from service, the Friends of the 261 quickly began rebuild of the engine. And then in 2009, the work on 261 was halted to concentrate efforts on the Southern Pacific 4449 steam locomotive. The famed Daylight was to participate in the train festival in 2009, and the Friends of 261 played a major part in the engine being able to participate. The group provided several passenger cars for 4449's excursion from Portland, Oregon to Owasso, Michigan, that started on July 3rd, 2009, as well as Train Festival 2009. After being away for 3 months, the 4449 arrived on Portland on October 20th, 2009. In November of 2009, the Friends of the 261 and the National Railroad Museum had problems in negotiations over leased agreements. The museum was asking too much for the Friends of the 261, especially while in the middle of a large overhaul. The Friends of the 261 decided to end the lease with the National Railroad Museum, setting the high cost, and began looking for another locomotive to restore. Then, in mid-January of 2010, the locomotive was found on the website of Sterling Rail and a rail equipment broker, stating that there was a sale pending. The engine was supposedly to be sold to a California-based collector, who would have potentially let the 261 overhaul and operate 261. However, that transaction was never completed. At the time, Steve Sandberg, CEO of the organization, said he was engaged in talks with the organizations leasing a different engine, and an email dated in November of 2009. He has informed the National Railroad Museum that his organization had decided to discontinue operating G61. According to Michael E. Telzero, executive director of the National Railroad Museum, per terms of their agreement, the Friends of the 261 would be responsible for returning the locomotive to the museum. However, the Friends of the 261 were finally able to purchase the locomotive in May of 2010 for $225,000, keeping it in Minneapolis and returning it to operation upon its rebuild. And then on September 29th, 2012, 261 was test fired and ran under its own power once again for the first time since 2008, which is like 4 years. And then in April of 2013, it successfully operated a test train on the Twin Cities and Western Railroad, and it ran normally from Minneapolis and then operated tender first back to Minneapolis. And then on National Train Day, May 11th, 2013, 261 ran on an excursion from Minneapolis to Duluth, where it met
You're talking about Ashland Train Day. I heard of Ashland Train Day.
Yeah, and it also met the Sioux Line 10,462 Pacific number 10, 2719 for the first time, along with Duluth and Northern Minnesota 28 to Mikado number 14. And then the 261 stayed in Duluth overnight and had a photo shoot with 2719. And then on May 12, 2013, 261 returned to Minneapolis. And Amtrak P42 DC number 17 joined 261 for this trip. Then on October 12th, which is like my 9th birthday, the 261 made a round-trip fall color excursion to Livermore, Minnesota. And then on October 13th, 2013, 261 made a second round-trip excursion to Boylston, Wisconsin. And Amtrak P40GC number 824 joined 261 for these trips. Man, that happened on my birthday!
Wow.
But tragically, I was still in the New England era in Stamford, Connecticut in 2013. I was like 9 years old. But if I had traveled all the way to Minnesota to see 261, then it would be nice. And then
if I was you, I would definitely do that. If I was you, I would definitely do that. Screw it.
You should do that, Manuel, one of these days to see 261.
Well, let's just hope right now, because with the whole money thing and like Joe Biden and all that kind of stuff, that political stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
And then on September 27, 2014, 261 ran on a round trip fall colors excursion to Duluth, returning to Minneapolis on September 28th. The excursion traveled on BNSF Hinckley subdivision. The Amtrak P42 DC number 174 joined for 261 for this trip. And then in 261, the 261 operated the inaugural
Finally,
North
I
Pole
found
Express
it.
and
Oh,
St.
sorry.
Paul
Sorry. I was trying to
for 2 weekends. And 261 operated out of St. Paul Unity Pot, pulling short trips decorated for this excursion. And then even though the 261 post next to the Canadian Pacific's holiday train, when it also visited the depot, it reprised its role as the locomotive for the North Pole Express at St. Paul Union Depot in 2015. 2016, 2017, 2018, operating over 2 weekends each December. Then in October 2015, 261 attended the railway interchange show in Minneapolis on October 4th to 7th. Then on October 10th, 261 pulled a daytime round trip excursion to Boylston, Wisconsin, where it was wide and returned to Minneapolis. And then Amtrak's Phase 5 Heritage Unit, Phase 4 Heritage Unit number 184 joined 261 for both trips. Then the 261 traveled to St. Paul Union Depot under steam to be displayed along with each equipment for Union Pacific's depot train days. And I'm okay, Alan. Celebrating the 90th anniversary of the building. It was featured in the night photo shoot with Soo Line 2500 and EMD FP7. And then on June 4th, 2006, 261 ran a round trip to Duluth, Minnesota, returning to Minneapolis on June 5th. And Amtrak had been power short, so 261 performed this trip on its own. And then in September 2016, 261 operated on Twin Cities and Western Road and Minnesota Prairie Line trackage. Yeah, and the Minnesota Prairie Line is former Chicago Northwestern Railway trackage that originally belonged to the Minneapolis and St. Louis Railway. The 261 operated as far west as Winthrop, Minnesota. It was the first time in 60 years that the steam engine had operated on the Minnesota Prairie Line. The same route was operated in the fall of 2017. Then in October of 2016, 261 operated 3 round trips from Minneapolis on the Twin Cities and Western Road, running on former Milwaukee Road tracks. 261 operated without a diesel helper to be pulled back to Minneapolis, as there was no place to turn the train around. Then in June of 2017, 261 operated on Red River and Valley Road in North Dakota. And due to changes made to Amtrak's policy for charter trains in 2018, 261 was unable to perform a majority of excursions, including an excursion to Duluth that was supposed to take place in June of that year. Then on September 8th and 9th, which is on my sister Alexandra's 15th birthday, friends of the 261 operated 2 excursions for Fall Color and Gourmet Express, where they operated west from Minneapolis to Glencoe, Minnesota on Twin Cities and Western trackage. They stopped near Norwood, Young America, Minnesota for the gourmet food and wine in a photo run by. Then on October 22nd, 2018, for the 25th anniversary of the first excursion in 1993, 261 pulled a train for the annual convention of the American Association of Private Rail Car Owners, AAPERCO. Then in May of 2019, after an agreement made in January, friends of the 261 acquired former Milwaukee Road EMD E9 number 32A from the Wisconsin Southern Road, which is owned by Watsco. First showcased at Union Depot Day from May 31st to June 2nd. It pulled its first excursion on May 22nd. Still painted in Wisconsin and Southern colors, minus former lettering.
Okay.
The E9 locomotive has since been repainted into Milwaukee colors and debuted in its new paint scheme on May 12, 2021. Then in June 12th of 2019, 261 pulled 2 excursions for the Minnesota Milwaukee Road Historical Association convention being held in Minneapolis called 261 Hiawatha. On June 22nd, 2019, the train operated from Minneapolis to Broughton, Minnesota, on the Twin Cities and Western on June 23rd, 2019. The train traveled between Minneapolis and Norwood and Young America on the TCNW. Then Norwood to Winthrop on the TCNW, subsidiary Minnesota Prairie Line, and Ram Millage trip for 261. Then September of 2021 and 2019, there were 2 excursions for the Gourmet Express. On March 11, 2021, a $200,000 proposal was made to convert the 261s as firebox and burning energy from coal to oil. However, this is not the first time an S3 class was converted to burn oil. And as numbers 262, 263, 267, and 269 were converted to oil during their revenue careers. And imagine 261 in the past, then it could have been running furthermore.
Yeah, it could have been actually. But wait, what happened again? I couldn't hear. I'm sorry. Can you say again? What happened to it after the end?
So on March 11th, 2021, a $200,000 proposal was made to convert number 261's firebox from burning coal to oil. However, this is not the first time an S3 class was converted to burn oil.
Well,
As
at least it
numbers
didn't end up in the
262,
Gettysburg boiler explosion. That's what I
263,
know.
267, and 269 were converted to burn oil during their revenue careers.
I mean, yeah, but at least it didn't end up having a boiler explosion like the Gettysburg incident.
No, it didn't have a boiler explosion.
Well,
But the
that's a
next
good thing.
locomotive that we're gonna read is the Boston Maine 3713.
Okay, since you read most of it, let's let anyone else that's turn. You know, Alan hasn't gotten a turn yet. Ask Alan to read this one.
Maybe you can read the Boston Maine
Yeah.
3713.
Can I read one of them?
Oh,
You
Alan,
can search it up on Google, Boston Maine 3713.
No, it's better if you put it in the link. Actually, put it in the link, please.
Yeah.
All right,
Put
I'll
me
put
the
it in
link,
the link.
please.
Yeah, because it's more easier, dude. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, right now I can't because first of all, I'm trying to help my friend Timothy with the remake of Thomas. Actually.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's Boston Maine 3713.
Okay, he wants me to move Percy. All right, I'll move him. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. If you guys
All right.
if you guys don't
Here
know,
it
I'm actually
is.
in a Discord call with him. Actually, I'm in a Discord call.
All right,
with him.
here it is now. Boston
Don't worry,
and
I'm still
Maine number 3713, also known as the Constitution, is the sole survivor of the P4A class 462 heavy Pacific type steam locomotives. It was built by the Lima Locomotive Works for the Boston and Maine Railroad in December
Hello, I'm here.
1934. As of
Oh, hey, what's up?
2022, the number
don't be let go.
3713 locomotive is currently being restored to operating condition at the Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania, as part of their operating fleet
I got
for
a
use
question.
on excursion
Yeah, what's up?
trains. It was
Hey,
the
Alan,
focus.
stop talking. Racy wants to talk. Go ahead, Racy. Go ahead. What's up?
My favorite cereal is Like It Charms.
Okay. Go ahead, Alan. Just continue.
It was the focus of Project 3713, a partnership between the National Park Service and the Lackawanna and Wyoming Valley Railway Historical Society.
And I think that's it. And also, it operated a farewell to steam excursion on the Boston Maine Road in 1956 between Boston, Massachusetts, and Portland, Maine. In North Boston train station in Boston, Massachusetts to Portland, Maine.
Right,
Excuse
Manuel?
me. Did I
Yep,
finish?
exactly.
You let me finish.
And then it was
read
purchased
the
by
first
this
paragraph
rail
of that
planner
in the
and
top.
millionaire F. Nelson Blount in 1958, and was also moved to the New England. And then what happened again? What else it was? Oh yes, so in October of 1969, the locomotive was loaned to the Boston's Museum of Science with a cosmetic repaint to make the locomotive look more presentable to the public. And then afterwards, number 3713 returned to Steamtown in the mid-1970s and was eventually moved along with the rest of the collection to the new location of Steamtown in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
All right.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
want to talk, Racy, or what?
What?
You should talk
Were you
about the
talking?
Baldwin 060 switcher number 26.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You put it in the comment, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah, you
put
did.
the Baldwin 26.
Yeah, just wait, right?
Okay.
All right,
start,
bro. You
start
want okay? All right, dude. We
That's
want which
Baldwin
version you want to try
26.
doing it? The George Carlin version or the Ringo Starr one? Oh, okay.
I
You
like-
want the Ringo Starr? Okay.
Yeah, I like Star Wars.
No, well, it's Ringo Starr, the narrator. It's because I'm doing a remake of
Huh.
Thomas because this guy needs help with this Thomas remake. Needs my help.
Okay, you can read about the Baldwin 26 locomotive.
Quiet.
Go ahead and talk, dude.
What's going on?
Yeah, go ahead, Brody.
I don't know.
Guys, make.
Will Percy. Just ignore that little clip. It's just that I'm just trying to do a remake.
All right. I guess I'll just take the ball and locomotive works. 20.
Oh, okay. Alicia, he said he was gonna do it. The real friend said.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
All right, bro. Go ahead.
All right. Let me copy the link and take it to the next screen, and then I'll go ahead and do my best.
Let me do my stop motion. Where the fuck is it? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to swear. Oh, I'm so sorry. It slipped out. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
No worries. It was an accident.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
No. No. Please don't say that's the copyright.
No, I'm just saying everyone makes mistakes.
End of discussion, just like Sasha from Amphibia.
All right. Is there? All right.
And I'm
ready.
gonna memorize that, seeing how I stopped drama in my server. I'm gonna
Yeah, you gotta
memorize
stop the
that so I
drama,
won't
dude.
forget.
Yeah, dude.
Is
It's
it
just
because
like.
what you see in my Toon Squad server? What happens sometimes?
Yeah, I know. I know how it feels, Alan. I know how it feels.
Okay. I'm ready now.
Oh, and also I forgot to tell you that today is Danny Roblox official's birthday.
Oh, I
Did
know
you
that.
post
I knew.
the
Oh, I knew
last
that.
scene for
I knew.
Danny Roblox official when you posted happy birthday?
Wasn't he a friend of Cozy Boy? Was he a friend of Cozy Boy?
Yeah. he
Oh,
is.
I know that guy. I say happy
I
birthday to
love
him.
Cozy Boy, my brother.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Baldwin Locomotive Work
Oh,
number
wow.
26 was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in March of
Look at this.
1929. During the first 19 years of existing, the locomotive worked at the Baldwin Locomotive Work plant in Eddystone, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Alan.
Okay. Painted in the Baldwin's
Alan.
standard auto green with hold on,
olive
guys.
green with aluminum trim and
Oh.
lettering livery.
Oh, aluminum trimmer and lettering. Okay, livery. The engine. So I'm gonna struggle a little bit on this one. Robert. Sorry about my struggling, guys. Oh.
It ain't your fault.
All
Not
right.
fault, bro. Don't worry.
Low
You're
bird.
learning.
Yeah.
We've all been
Love it.
through there.
Yeah, we all went through there, dude.
I know this guy.
All right.
Can someone stop playing that in the background?
What?
The ghost train.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah.
Look at
Oh,
this.
sorry. That's my bad. Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
Consider me-
All right,
I'll try lowering the volume then.
Yeah.
My
It is
Alright.
okay.
Sorry, it's me.
Lover hauling raw steel and completing locomotives around the plant with at least two other identical sister locomotives, number 21 and 24.
Do you hate?
Other locomotives of this design were built for the Atlantic Coastline Railroad. The
Do you hate engines go?
No, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Please don't talk about this when I'm trying to read.
Like I-
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. dude.
Don't interrupt me.
Lehigh and New England Railroad, and the General Steel casing. The following the end of World War II, the locomotive was purchased by the Jackson Irons and Steel Company of the Jackson, Ohio, becoming their number 3 in 1948. While working at the Jackson Iron and Steel Company. The locomotive's career was relates unknown, but the locomotive
I did 2 more community posts.
and the locomotive's career was known for having the last unusual late for a steam locomotive and reversing service before being retired in the 1970s. In 1979, the locomotive was purchased by Jeremy Jackson, who saved the locomotive from scrap. And in 1983, Jackson had the locomotive moved from Jackson First to the Grand Rapids, Ohio. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong.
It's okay, bro.
And then the Mad River and Nickel Plate Road. Nickel Plate Road, thank you. Nickel Plate Road Railroad Museum and Baltimore, Ohio. I don't think that's Baltimore, Ohio. My bad. Belen, Ohio, when it was painted as Nickel Plate Road number 17. 3 years later, in 1986, Jackson traded the switcher with the Steamtown fronting of.
I'm nervous for this.
Can you please be quiet? I'm trying to read.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't need to sound harsh, but please, I'm trying. It's a little hard for me to read while talking is going on.
Okay, but keep going.
It's fine.
All right, thank you. Surrender, Pennsylvania. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong again. For their Canadian National 460 number 1551. Later that year, Steamtown had taken over the Nevada Park Service, becoming Steamtown Nevada Historian Site. The locomotive remained in Bellevue, Ohio. Bellevue, thank you so much.
Nice.
Bellevue, Ohio. While the
I know that place.
While the Steamtown fronting transferred its collection to the Nevada Park Service, it eventually arrived. Oh, National Park Service. Thank you. It finally arrived on.
And that's what friends are for, right, Manuel?
Yes, I'm glad. Thank you so much. Okay. It was eventually arrived at the Steamtown property in January 1990. Upon arrival, would enter Steamtown's shops for complete restoration. It was painted black with white lettering addition in the same type of reformer bulk as the original Baldwin locomotive work livery. Upon returning to service, it began its first excursion run in the summer of 1900. Oh man!
No, it's 1990.
Oh, 1990. Sorry about that.
1990. Dang.
That is also the same year when Ray Ryan 90 was born.
Yeah,
but he was born on October 7th.
At least it wasn't the year 1978, actually.
What happened to the back, Emmett?
Okay, all right. Okay, I know what I'm at now. All right. Upon the official opening of the Steamtown
Prior to the official opening of Steamtown National Historic Site, and you're welcome to know that.
Yeah, National Historian Service. Site. The locomotive free choir. Free choir. Dang it! Can someone help me with the word next to the?
On the former Delaware, Lackawanna,
I hear something background. Hey, stop it! Whoever's doing that, I heard something in the background. It's copyrighted.
Hey,
Race boy, is that you?
I'm not
even
playing
boy.
nothing, guys. What?
Well, I hear something in the background. I swear, I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
Let's continue reading. Let's focus on reading.
Yeah, let's continue on with that. Okay.
Let's continue on with that.
Please continue.
All right, thank you. All right, the locomotive free choir fed passengers between the Temper Visitor Center and the former Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad roundhouse and turntable
Complex.
Complex.
You're welcome, Nada.
Complex, then underground.
Undergoing renovations to become the permanent visitors center, museum, and locomotive storage and serving facility for the park.
Thank you. Oh man. Following the complete of the museum complex in June 1995, 26.
No.
Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. My headphones are hurting my head. Honestly, these headphones are so big. I need to take them off.
Oh,
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that it's just like it's making my head hurt so much with these big ass sorry. I meant these big headphones. I'm sorry. I'm trying. It slipped out.
Hey, it's okay. It slips out. It was an accident, and no worries.
Continue. Okay, you can continue.
All right. Let's see. Where were we? Oh yeah, I know where I'm at now. 26.
Ceremonially
cut.
Ceremonially cut.
Summarily.
There we go.
Cut a ribbon line across one of the yards tracks during the official opening ceremony. Okay, I'm getting a little tired on the reading. Can someone take over for me?
I'll try.
Oh yeah.
All right, thanks.
Which one is it? Is it this
one? It's Baldwin Locomotive Works number 26.
Got it.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah, if you're gonna get tired of reading, you're soon gonna get tired of reading.
Yeah, I already have a tiny headache already.
Just tell me which one.
Baldwin Locomotive Works number 26.
Bye.
Yeah, but which title though? The excursion career, the probation.
I'm at the excursion career.
Oh, extension career. Okay. Excursion. Sorry. All right. Which paragraph? Paragraph 2 or paragraph 1?
I'm at the paragraph 2 with following the official opening.
Oh, got it. Okay.
All right.
Following the official opening of the park, the locomotive became the primary power on the Steamtown's short Scanton limited trains between the museum complex and just beyond the former D, L, and W Scanton station. She also ran the Nay Ugg Courage Limited, which travels past the former DLNW Scanton station and stops on the outskirts of the city just before the Nay Tunnel at Nahug Park. She's also occasionally ran trips to the Carbondale, Pennsylvania. In December 1999, the 26 made its final runs of the Steamtown and was taken out of service, identifying them for its FRA, or Federal Railroad Administration for short, mandated 5-year inspection. While in the shops, it was discovered that the entire inner firebox and portions of the boiler were in imminent need of replacement. Park management decided to rebuild the engine, and the locomotive was completely disassembled. During the disassembly process, it was discovered that the locomotive's frame was bent. Dang. The ensuing overhaul, which lasted 17 years, saw the rebuilding of the locomotive's running gear, replacement of the firebox, siding of the frame, reboring the cylinders, and other various preventative maintenance. The engine's overhaul was completed in late 2015 and made a successful test run on December 10th of that year. It made its official excursion service return on April 17th, 2016. Following its return to service, 26 resumed its position as power of the Scanton Limited and Nay Ugg George Limited yard shuttles.
Oh man, if I would have continued reading, I would have probably almost been done. But thanks for taking over for me, though.
Yeah, it's fine. No problem, dude.
Oof, man, reading.
I mean, yeah, reading
the locomotive at Steamtown, like the Canadian.
Dude, as long as you're just like putting your mind into it, you know.
Yeah, I was, and then my mind's like telling me like I gotta have someone else to take over.
No big deal, bro. No big deal.
I know.
All right, go ahead. What's the next train we're going to talk about, Alicia?
We're going to talk about the Canadian Pacific 2317 steam locomotive.
Yeah. Which one is it?
Canadian Pacific 2317.
Okay.
I'll send you the link for the 2317. Your turn, Manuel, to read it.
Oh, sorry, I was drinking water. What happened?
Here's 2317.
Okay, I'll read that. Sure.
Guys.
I'll be back for a minute, guys. I'm gonna get some water.
Here's
get some water, dude. You're gonna get tired, dude.
Yeah.
I need a drink of water because of that reading. Okay. Where's here it is. Okay. Pasted and okay. Canadian Pacific 2317. Okay. Canadian Pacific 2317 is a Class G-3S3C, my bad, 4-6-2 Pacific type steam locomotive built by the Montreal Locomotive Works for the Canadian Pacific Railway, or CPR for short. Okay, let's see. The history and the Reneview service. After the end of the First World War, the Canadian Pacific Railroad began replacing their old wooden passenger cars with, quote, heavyweight, six-axle steel passenger cars. Oh, wow. No wonder with the great train wreck that happened in 1918. Wow. In response to this, the CP's chief mechanical officer, named William E. Woodhouse, designed a new class of the 4-2, the 4-6-2. Yo, stop. Whoever's doing that, stop, please. Racy boy, stop.
Sorry.
Pacific, or quote, Pacific. Type steam locomotive that will be known as the G-3 class. The G3 class. My bad. Number 2317 was built in June of 1923 by the Montreal Locomotive Works as part of the G-3C subclass, and it was put into service pulling mainline passenger trains for the CPR, or Canadian Pacific Railroad for short. It was known to be stationed in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Manitoba? Yeah.
It's Manitoba.
Manitoba.
Okay.
Manitoba. Oh, okay. All right. For a good portion. Yep. Of its Reneview career. I'm gonna just pause for a minute. Just give me a minute so I can get on track.
Okay, guys, I'm back.
For the 36 years, the locomotive was retired from Reneview service in 1959, and it was subsequently put into storage with an uncertain future. Oh wow, dang, that sucked. It was being put away. Wow. In November 1965, seafood magnate and steam locomotive enthusiast F.
Enthusiast.
Nelson. What?
It's enthusiast.
Oh, enthusiast. Enthusiast F. Nelson purchased the locomotive and moved it to Bellows Falls, Vermont, to join the rest of his Steamtown, USA collection. And that's the one we're talking about. Wow.
You
did a lot of good research, honestly. You did a good research. Upon arrival, the engine received a cosmetic restoration and was put on static display with the other CPR locomotives, including 4-4-4, number 2929, and 4-6-4, number 2816. Sorry. In 1976, CPR number 1278 was removed from the active roster due to the expiration of its fluid time. Instead of overhauling number 1278, the Steamtown chose to rebuild number 2317, since it was found to be in excellent condition at the time, and it was more powerful locomotive to pull Steamtown's longer trains. Steamtown crews began restoration work on number 2317. In March of 1976, with the hopes of bringing it back to service as quickly as possible, since a locomotive was needed to pull a bicentennial train known as the Vermont Bicentennial. Steam expectation sponsored by the state of Vermont. However, due to weight restrictions on some wooden bridges, the train meant to run on restoration work on number 2317 was halted, and the CPR number 1293 was selected to pull the train instead. You minute, just need to check. Okay. The rebuilding process on number 2317 resumed in June 1978 with the hopes of bringing it back into service by the annual Railfest weekend in October of that year. On October 1st of the same year, 1978, the locomotive was fired up for the first time in 19 years, and it joined the Canadian Pacific Railroad, or CPR for short, numbers 1293 and 1246 in Steamtown's operating fleet. During this time, the locomotive was painted in the Canadian Pacific gray, blue, and Tuscan red livery, a livery it never spotted in the Reneview services. The 1983, throughout the 80s operating season, the engine along with numbers 1246 and 1293 were used to pull multiple excursion trips to bid farewell to Steamtown's home in Bellows Falls. Before the entire collection would be moved to Scranton, Pennsylvania the following year, the locomotive arrived in Scranton on January 31st, 1984, and it was subsequently fired up 4 days later for the, quote, grand entrance ceremony on February 4th of that same year. Give me a minute. The locomotive was fired up once more on September 1st for the first Steamtown excursion in Scranton, which ran on former Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western, or DLW for short, which is the main line between Scranton and Elmhurst, Pennsylvania. In '86, it was painted up in the DLW's, quote, Procano Mountain Route livery. It remained in this livery until after the National Park Service, or NPS, occurred Steamtown in 1987. The locomotive was subsequently repainted into the livery it wore in an active service with the CPR, or Canadian Pacific Railroad, for short. The locomotive was present at the grand opening of the Steamtown National Historic Site, along with several other locomotives, including Baldwin Locomotive Works 26. Canadian National 3254, Reading Blue Mountain and Northern Railroad 425, New York, Susquehanna, and Western's ex-China Railways SY, number 142, and Milwaukee Road 261, and the locomotive ran several excursions trains on the former DLW. Main line. The locomotive subsequently settled down at Steamtown's main workhorse, and it would often pull Steamtown's excursions in tandem with number 3254 until 2004, when problems with its trailing truck, dry pipe, and tires were discovered. Between 2004 and 2007, it only pulled the, quote, Scranton Limited yard trains. After new tires were installed in 2007, the locomotive was allowed to pull of the longer excursions to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and the Delaware Water Gap. Did you say something?
Now let's read the disposition.
I got it. After the end of the 2009 operating season, it was used only sparingly as its flew, or is it no? Because like there's an E, like flew.
It's flew
time was close to expiring. I'll just say that. Number 2317 made its last run on September 5th, 2010. During Steamtown's 2010 Lackawanna Railfest, after the event, the locomotive was replaced into storage in the Steamtown Roundhouse, where it is viewable to the public. It was previously waiting for the Federal Railroad Administration, or FR for short, or FRA for short, mandated 1,402 day inspection and repairs to operate the engine again. Steamtown originally planned to return number 2317 to service again once the restoration of Boston and Maine 3713 was completed.
Again, Alex is in the Discord call with me while I'm in the live.
Okay, let me continue. As of 2022, the year that we're in, however, the locomotive still remains on static display, and Steamtown has stated that they have no plans on returning number 2317 to service again anytime soon. Since the locomotive is in a poor mechanical condition and will require a more expensive hull overhaul in order for it to run again. Number 3713 will be replacing both number 2317 and number 3254 as the Steamtown's main attraction for mainline excursion trains. Wow. So it's not going to be returning for another while. Wow, and they just put it in storage.
Dang.
And there are some accidents and incidents that happen.
I know. I'm about to read that, Alan. Please. Can I have a moment to breathe, please? Because I'm running out of air. I need some breath, dude. Okay, I got it. On February 4th, 1982, the Steamtown shop and storage building collapsed under the weight of the 3 feet of heavy, wet snow, caused some damages to some locomotives, including number 2317. However, the damage was not serious enough to remove it from excursion service. Oh, wow.
And then let me read
July
this one.
10th, 1995, there was more trouble. Number 2317 was returning a 9-car excursion carrying 572 passengers from Moscow to Scanton at 20 miles per hour when it struck and killed 2 young boys, Paul Paskard, age 12, and Anthony Paskard, age 16, who were trying to pry one of their jammed ATVs from the tracks. The engineers were not able to see the boys on the tracks and did not apply the emergency brakes to avoid causing passengers to be thrown from their seats and injured. That was the 26th excursion run since the grand opening of the park less than a month prior. And this was the first fatality Steamtown experienced on July 4th, 1985, which is Independence Day, we all know, when an intoxicated woman was struck by a private venture train. Oh my God. Man. Wow. If I talk about the other one, I just want to say, wow.
Now
these guys were trespassing on railroad property. They should not have done that. That's
Which
illegal.
you should not do. They're like foamers.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that much.
I mean, how many people have gotten struck by trains by trespassing? How many people died from those incidents?
I think a lot.
Like when the
pretty
84
much.
Union Pacific 844 struck and killed a pedestrian, and also a Burlington Northern E8 or E9 locomotive that killed a woman. You've seen that video, Manuel.
Oh, yeah,
I actually did a documentary on the 844 incident.
The Mary woman, that one that got hit by a train when she just didn't look at the train.
Oh, and the British Rail Class 47 also sometimes can hit.
Yeah, dude,
and also sometimes trains hit animals, including deer. Like you've seen some Amtrak trains hit deers.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the cameraman, I would have saw this. I would have turned on my camera right away.
Hit cows a lot.
See that,
Like the British Rail Class 47, it hit a cow. That's very sad. And the leg bone was
But I just can't believe that the engineers did not apply the brakes. They didn't apply the brakes to avoid an accident. They didn't. They just.
But what caused the accident? The EMU, the DMU,
No, it says here that the reason that they didn't apply the brakes was because they didn't want passengers to be thrown from the train because remember,
but the Class 47 wasn't damaged because it only derailed instead of damaged. That's all.
It got damaged in the heavy snow.
That's very sad. Then I'm gonna read the 2003 one.
All right, go ahead.
On October 27, 2003, 1 month after my sister was born, Alexandra was born, and 2 months after my 11th teenage robot came out, number 2217 was pulling a train through the Poconos about 10 miles an hour when the tender and 3 of the 9 passenger cars jumped the tracks. But fortunately, no one was injured because the train was traveling at such a slow speed. The accident occurred 1 mile outside Delaware Water Gap in an area known as Point of Gap. Yeah,
What'd you
I
say?
think this is the story of the Canadian Pacific 2317. So, Manuel,
Yep. What's
I'm
up?
going to read. And before we get to number one, I would like to include some honorable mentions. Union
Okay, go ahead.
Pacific Big Boy, number 4012. Man, I still wanted to talk about this big boy, but due to time concentrating and reading too much information, didn't get the chance, Manuel.
Well, we'll soon get to that chance in another live stream. I mean, you are gonna make another live stream about this, right?
Like
Or
part
something.
three, and also
Part three, yeah, exactly.
another example, the Reading T1484 North number 2124. This I wanted to suggest this one, but still time concentrates. And also Nickel Plate Road S2284 Berkshire number 7659, which is 765 is 6 years older sister, which is like 6 years older than 765.
But I just have
Yes,
one question though. Like, I just have this one question. It's because I was reading about the incident that happened about the two boys that ended up getting, and because I don't want to get demonetized or age restricted by this, what we're gonna say, I'll just say that these boys got hurt. Like, let's just say that. Like, how come the engineer did not apply the brakes once they saw the boys? I mean, I get why, because the engineers cannot see someone on the tracks, and once they see the person like in front of them, it's just too late. It's like the Titanic. Remember, like the Titanic didn't see the iceberg until it was in front of her, and the men start trying.
Yeah,
their
that's
best
very sad. So let's not get demonetized a bit because of this.
Yeah, exactly. But like, how come it said that they didn't want to apply the brakes because they thought the passengers were gonna get ejected from the passenger coach? Like, what was passenger coaches back then that we didn't know about that we have today?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of safety features did they had back then?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, were they built like safety, or they were built just like negligence or something? I mean, that's what led accidents to happen. I mean, like, what about the big bio wreck that happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like the big bio wreck.
all I can say-
It was the tugboat's fault. It was the tugboat's fault.
Well, yeah, but what about
Well,
the
it's not. Well, it is his fault, but it's not all his fault, though.
I mean, yeah, he was just lost in the fog. He didn't
Yeah.
know he hit the bridge. It's also the designer.
Yeah,
of the
it wasn't
bridge
his fault. It was just a horrible case of bad luck for the weather, and it was the weather that caused that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually weather.
Yeah,
But,
not-
like, was it true that so many people back then, like, let's say, like Amtrak, like, when was
What
the year that
happened
Amtrak was
later?
built and was created? When was Amtrak?
It was created in
May 1st of
1971.
1971.
1971, and there was also another wreck that also happened. And passenger
Salam.
is that they caused people to be ejected from the windows. I heard. Was that true?
The Salam, Illinois
Yeah, but
derailment.
anyways, let's
Yep.
talk about
What?
before and also the Nickel Plate Road 759. Now, I
It's
always
not
wanted to
real.
include it, but
What
there
happened?
weren't that it wasn't enough time. I
Okay, go
also
ahead.
wanted to include the main Central 519, which is a 280 consolidation type steam locomotive too. And also the
I can read
Canadian
that. I can read
Pacific
that.
3377 too, which is also a 282 Mikado type steam locomotive, but it is classified. But the differences between 30 and like I said on my other, and I mean like I said mentioned earlier in the other Steamtown live streams and my question activities episodes, the 3254 is like an S1B, which is powerful, while the 3377 is an S1D, which is more 2 times powerful than 3254 and slightly better.
All right. Do you want me to read the last one? I'll read the last one.
Let me read it. Let me read the Canadian Pacific 1278.
Okay.
All right, so the Canadian Pacific 1278, aka F. Nelson Blount's favorite locomotive. The Canadian Pacific 1246 462 Pacific G5D 462 Pacific type steam locomotives was built by the Canadian Locomotive Company in April of 1948 and is a 462 Pacific G5D class 462 light 462 Pacific type steam locomotive. The locomotive worked most of its career hauling freight and passenger trains throughout the Canadian Pacific Railway until it was retired from revenue service in 1960. After sitting idle for 5 years, the locomotive was purchased by its rightful owner, F. Nelson Blount, for Steamtown, USA collection in North Walport, New Hampshire at that time in May of 1965. And it was numbered to 127 that following year. And also this 1278 was given the beauty treatment where he he built and added when he constructed and built construction added and it received an Nalesco feed water heater, which works really successful from a mechanical standpoint of view, and it's Blount's and F. Nelson Blount style bell placement. And guys, if you like watching this, and that you're not a whitey, evil, whitey, annoying purist, 127 looks freaking gorgeous.
I mean, yeah, looking at the pictures, it does.
Nope.
What do you mean, no?
One chance.
Not even one chance? Really? Like why? Like, why? I mean, they look gorgeous to me. But, like, this engine's, like, some of these engines that we're talking about, Alicia, right? Like, these engines we're talking about, some of them were been provisioned, and some of them have gone into bad accidents. I mean, a lot of trains have gone into bad accidents ever since, like, how many people, like, lost their lives because of train accidents? Like, how long, actually? Not gonna lie, how long? I'm gonna do a quick Google search.
I think it might have been a while. I could say it's probably been a long time ago. Anyway, if I was an engineer and if I would have saw trouble, and even if I was driving a passenger train or a freight train, I will automatically apply the brakes.
Oh my god! Wow! I actually did my research. It turns out in the U.S. alone,
guys.
there's only about 3,000
and
3,687 people that died from train accidents.
All right, Stratford Studios. Bye.
Nice,
and
bro.
And also remember what Jim Vanderkolk said in some random in the now abandoned rail fan enthusiast. Train enthusiast YouTuber, some random 5-time, aka Southern Fly Productions, aka Steven Singleton says part 5 of his top 20 retired Steven Singleton stars in the UK. And also, Jim has a pity opinion on his Alesco feed water preheaters and feed water heaters. And if they were mechanically, and like I said, mentioned earlier, if they were like if they're like mechanically successful, great. But when it comes to North American locomotives, he doesn't like the placement on most of them. And why can't he just do the German way? Have it sit with the boiler power that poops like a tube. But just look at New York Central 4SL2C 482 Mohawk type steam locomotive number 2933. And it basically follows the German way of the preheater and feed water heater that poop like a tube. Good going. And Jim Vanderkolk was picky at that, was game picky, and he was a nitpicker. And also, the 2933 sometimes can be a little bit of an overrated Mohawk type steam locomotive from an overrated railroad like the New York Central Railroad.
Give me an animal.
Okay.
And back to
is that the last engine that we're talking about, or is there more?
Yeah, let me continue. The locomotive. Because the locomotive returned to service in 1966, and she was known for pulling Ross Rollins' very first
going on in the background. Someone mute your mic, please.
Jersey City, Pennsylvania, and Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, October 13th, 1966. And then in early February of 1968, the hired company sponsored a doubleheader excursion over the Central Railroad New Jersey's main line between Jersey City and Wilkes-Barre, pulled by fellow G5 locomotives 1238 and 1286. And while leasing them from George Hart, however, the latter two locomotives were on loan to the city of Reading for emergency work after a steam generator broke down. And since tickets for the excursion had already been sold, and Roland was unwilling to pull the Hitco excursion with the diesel locomotive, and then he leased the 1278, however. And since number 1278 lacked enough power to pull the train over the grades on the Central Railroad, New Jersey, between Bethlehem and Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, unassisted, And then Ross Roland also leased the Great Western Railway and Strasbourg Railroad's 210 decapod number 90, which still operates at Strasbourg Railroad nowadays, still operates at Strasbourg Railroad, to assist and double head with the 1278 locomotive, and then returned to Steamtown soon after the excursion ended. The locomotive was also leased to Cadillac and Lake City Railroad in Michigan to pull tourist trains from 1978 to 1971. And then, after some repair work, the locomotive was returned to Steamtown, USA in Bells Falls, Vermont, and Scranton, Pennsylvania, where it served on excursion runs.
Mm-hmm.
And also, one of the reasons why F. Nelson Blount wanted to renumber the other G5s 1246 and Steamtown, and F. Nelson Blount wanted to renumber.
That's just gonna make me throw up.
The other G5s number 1246 and 1293 into 124 and 129, and also for some reason why it never happened. And also another reason why it never happened is because F. Nelson Blount tragically that F. Nelson Blount died in a plane crash in 1967.
Oh wow, damn.
But 1278 began to run, got its rightful full number back, possibly to please the ungrateful spoiled Pierce. Then 1278 operated again at excursions at Steamtown, and this time during the sequicentennial of the 150th anniversary of the Delaware Hudson Railroad. The 1278 was fitted with elephant-eared smoke deflectors to masquerade as the Delaware Hudson P1462 Pacific number 653, and it performed one doubleheader with the Reading T1484 Northern Tip steam locomotive number 2102, which masqueraded as the Delaware Hudson number 302 at that time. And then number 1278 pulled her last excursion train for Steamtown in 1976 before it was moved from service due to fluid time running out, and was subsequently put back on static display and replaced by G3 C462 Pacific number 2317 for Steamtown's active roster at that time. But now we come. And also the masquerade with the 1278 as the 653, and yes, it looked way better than the actual 653. But compared to the Delaware Hudson 63 484 Northerns, they're one of the better looking locomotives in the Delaware Hudson Railroad. But geez, those D&H P1462 Pacific look freaking repulsive. And
they look like
now we come to
they're dope. They're dope and lit at the same time.
The tragic part of the story. And it all started.
Oh. So. What?
What happened?
What happened too?
Like that.
And
so Steamtown went to the infamous Gettysburg Railroad and decided to trade the 1278 steam locomotive of Nelson Blount's favorite locomotive. Sorry for copying you some Rand 5 chime. And some Rand 5 chime if you're like actually watching this, please don't kill and sue me because of this.
Okay.
There's abysmal situation. Abysmal
Alicia, I always wanted
the absolute
to
worst
ask you something
ever.
I just wanted to ask you something actually. I know that I always wanted to ask this question. This might sound a little weird, but don't get offensive, okay? Like, you're a fan of Owl House, right? And I'm also a fan of Owl House. And I just have a question. You know V, right?
You better make me the third person.
Yeah.
V, she's now turned into a normal girl.
Exactly. And I know they call her they them. Like, what does they them know? I know what he him is, or she her. I know those pronouns, but what does they them stand for?
But she's a little bit like transgender.
Oh, she's like trans. Oh, okay. So she could be both.
And all right, let's continue.
Him, and
let's continue. Let's continue.
Okay.
And so the Steamtown went to the infamous Gettysburg Railroad and decided to trade the 1278 Nelson Blount's favorite locomotive for a 282.
Bro, how did Gettysburg get so famous? How?
For the Canadian National Railway And it's because you don't know that the Gettysburg Railroad, how Abraham Lincoln.
I mean, I
formed
know
this
about the
vision, it
Battle of
became
the
very
Gettysburg. That's what's so
place.
famous about.
And they also
the Battle of
they
Gettysburg
used to
of
have a
Civil
tourist
War.
railroad, but not anymore.
Oh.
And I'll tell you the reason why after I'm done saying that Steamtown trade Gettysburg, because spoiler, Steamtown trade Tulsa for Gettysburg in 1354 for Steamtown I mentioned earlier. And also, the Steamtown went to the infamous, and so Steamtown went to the infamous Gettysburg Railroad and decided to trade the 1278 Nelson Blount's favorite locomotive for a 282 Mikado, formerly from the Canadian National Railway, not in any way associated with Steamtown.
Oh my god, you just sound like SpongeBob.
My man,
wow.
I mean, it's the truth.
So
Can I not lie?
It does sound like it.
Exactly.
They traded Blount's favorite locomotive, 1278, for 3254. And okay, let me just explain why this was such a stupid idea. So first off, the bet for about 3254. 3254 was involved in a head-on collision with Great Northern H5462 Pacific number 1351 and British Columbia. Between mid southeastern and southeastern and mid southwestern of British Columbia, and its frame was bent. And because of this, and while the 1351 was tragically while the 1351 was the 1350 the Canadian National apparently chose not to actually repair the frame.
Go to bed because of school, so thank you for.
All right, Alan. So make sure to join the live for the
See you later, Alex.
See you guys tomorrow.
Make sure to join the Friday tomorrow stream for Halloween, because I mean, like I know I know a lot of you guys are going to trick or treating.
Guys, Rails of the State. Before I go, Rails of the State of Georgia is invading the live stream. Doing
what?
Stop!
Uh-oh.
You know what? I'm gonna put him in timeout.
Put him in timeout.
Warning.
All right, I put him in timeout. I just put him in timeout.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did anyone like my story?
I see the power going up. I just react. Just press a button.
And Canadian National apparently chose not to actually repair the frame with the 1354. And I'm and I mean, like I said mentioned earlier, Steamtown already had a Canadian National Mikado in their possession, number 3277. And like I said, the differences between the 33. And see you soon, Alan. See you in Friday's live stream, and hopefully, guys, you need to wear your costumes tomorrow, where we talk about the Gettysburg Railroad. So where are you gonna be, Manuel, tomorrow?
That's all, folks. Yeah, what's tomorrow, guys?
Hey, Noel.
Yeah, what's up?
Someone was asking you a question.
So what are you gonna be for? What are you guys are gonna be for tomorrow? For
well, I'm gonna just be Moxie from Hell of a Boss, actually.
And I'm gonna be Hunter from the Owl House
because
tomorrow.
The pilot
and we're
version.
gonna reveal our costumes during the
Hooray.
stream tomorrow, where we talk about the Gettysburg Railroad and crap on that railroad.
Well,
and
let's see if I'm not that busy. Actually, let's just hope I'm not busy that day. And
I mean, like I know a lot. I don't know if you're
Oh,
starting trick or treating right now, so if you agree with anything I said, you got to.
I mean, I want candy, so yeah.
Guys, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Rolfan.
For me, I'm not. Well, for me, for my Halloween costume, I'm just, to be honest, I'm not really celebrating Halloween this year.
Oh,
because you're in college.
Okay.
Well, it's only because one, I used to, okay, don't get me wrong, guys. I back then when I was a kid, I think it was fun, but honestly, right now, since I'm over 20 years old, I don't think it's fun to me no more.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I know. Last year I didn't even went and go trick or treating. Actually, I just we went to in my hometown. We just went to the park. We just went to the park. There was a lot of people taking pictures of their costumes, and I just took some pictures of me and my family.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, guys. I mean, I'll still join tomorrow.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's just get back to the reading. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Let's go back to the reading. And the differences between the 3254 and the 3277 is the 3254 is an S1B, which is quite powerful. Well, the 3377 is, and I mean, like, the 3377 is like an S1D, which is slightly powerful but much better in my honest opinion, but which eventually became a part donor locomotive for 3254. And then again, I'm pretty sure they didn't have the money to restore the locomotive themselves, so they just went to Gettysburg and just trade that engine. And and 3, just look at the Gettysburg Railroad version of 1278, because who in the everlasting trash would put a Canadian National style number plate on a Canadian Pacific locomotive? I mean, not only that, but they also removed the block style bell placement, which is kind of but without its Alaska feed water heater. But just no. Are they freaking high, just like Jeffy?
Oh, from SML. Oh man, SML.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no, like
right,
I mean, like I understand, real fan.
Railroad.
Like I understand, because you're too old for trick or treating and everything. I mean,
and
that's
one of the
understandable.
reasons why 3254 or got traded Steamtown traded.
I'm glad you understand.
For
that's understandable, dude.
3254 for Steamtown was Steamtown. They needed more powerful locomotives, so they thought it was a good move because 3254. Because basically, like fellow cylinder Christopher Kovacs explained for us, because what Jim Vanderkolk and some random 5 drivers is now abandoned. Top 5 retired steam. Part 5 is top 20 retired steam excursion stars honorable mention segment video. Because basically, like fellow cylinder Christopher Kovacs said, has been given a little information on the lists. An inspiration for us was because Steamtown traded 1278 wanted more powerful locomotives, so Steamtown traded 1278 for Steamtown for Gettysburg and 3254 for Steamtown, because 3254 was more powerful than 1278. Because one of the reasons why their new line, they aren't like, and I mean like aren't suitable for their new line with lighter locomotives, because
I mean,
they
they're cool
more.
and all. I mean, like, look, hey, Alicia, don't get me wrong. Some of these steam engines, like, they're so good that they were built. I mean, they had to be built for purposes. I mean, like, for example, look at the First World War.
Steamtown needed more
Everybody was
powerful
doing with technology
locomotives,
stuff.
so it was just a decision made with inept and motive power. And also, while 3254 was operating at the Gettysburg Railroad, it was apparently too heavy for the Gettysburg track.
It's just like the other engine that we were discussing in the stream. Remember when we were watching Michael Myers?
Not that hard. And also, but I'm not. Also, this is a bit of post-production recording, but I'm not mistaken. But there's this features tape by Berkshire Productions called Reading T144 North Tip Steam Locomotive number 2102, the American Northern, and they also have some scenes that were operated on the Gettysburg Railroad at Mount Holly Springs, Pennsylvania, and all that. And I think it might help us out, the inspiration. But so let me ask this: how the frick is a 282 Mikado 2 heavies for Gettysburg trackage, but a much larger and more stronger, more powerful, and heavier much heavier for Northern? I mean, like, it's perfectly fine on their trackage. Answer me.
I mean, yes, I understand, but I mean, like, didn't the engine, like, I'm just telling you this, like, did the engine ever had problems with making the rail?
But anyways,
broken or something? Did they make the railroad ties more broken, more everything that caused accidents, or what?
Yeah. But
I mean, that's what led accidents. I mean, broken key rails. That's what led accidents, like the Wyowega, Wisconsin fire incident, and also the Murdoch, Illinois incident too.
But all right, let's get. Yes. So all right, let's talk about its accident. So let's talk about it.
All right, let's hurry up.
At 7 p.m. on Friday, June 16th, 1995, at Pond Road at milepost 18, and a mile later, at Gardner's, while moving 15 miles an hour, the Canadian Pacific 1278 steam locomotive suffered a crown sheet failure and a backdraft boiler explosion in the firebox. Scaling steam and flames burning badly 3 of its crew members, with the engineer suffering the worst, and as he had burned over 60% of his body.
Dang.
It could have been a lot worse.
The man. He managed to get out of the locomotive cab by himself.
Yeah, he did.
And laid on the
ground.
ground.
Oh, wow. He was lucky.
He was then helped by a fireman and other members of the train crew.
Well, yeah, people say like you should always
police,
like
ambulances,
stop and roll. You know,
police investigators, ambulance investigators, firefighters, investigators arrived minutes later to take them to the area hospitals. The first fireman, who immediately left the cab by a doorway, had second and third degree burns over 10% of his body. He initially went to a hospital in Gettysburg and was then transported to York, Pennsylvania for a week. His recovery took 3.5 months. The second fireman had second and third degree burns on his legs, arms, and chest. He had fractured legs
that would have been
from
way
jumping
worse.
out.
Like, imagine this. Imagine like if the train actually was it carrying passengers that day, or was it carrying freight cars?
It was carrying passengers, over 100 passengers for a dinner special.
Oh wow! So none of the passengers got hurt.
And also, he had fractured legs from jumping out of the cab window. None of the crew was killed, and all 100 passengers escaped serious injury. The 1278
well, at least it wasn't worse than the train fire incident that's under production's
but the rest of the locomotive was fine. The crown sheet it tore the front tube sheet next to the rear tube sheet knuckle had bulked down to a foot in a bag-shaped composing an area at about 60 crown stays. The crown sheet holes around the stays had been deformed, creating gaps around the crown stay heads. It also had 6-inch tear, and also 2 front right knuckles had been broken and fallen apart. And then the National Transportation Safety Board, aka NTSB for short, and also the National Transportation Safety Board, aka the NTSB for short, or its investigators of the investigation quickly revealed that this accident was more than just an engine without water, because the 1278. They allowed because the crew on the 1278 allowed the water level to drop way too low, causing the crown sheet to overheat and fail. But thankfully, the design of the fireboxes is designed to prevent it from turning into a full-fledged explosion with the use of head staples.
Not like the Gettysburg.
The NTSB also found that the Gettysburg Railroad maintained the locomotives in a hard fashion with the use of button staples.
Well, yeah, to prevent another accident like the boiler explosion that happened, they had to do safety measures
heater, the air compressor. It's a cylinder.
Man.
It's for tube sheet. She's
working with the National Transportation Safety
and the
Board.
lovely National Railroad, and also the Federal Railroad Administration, and the lovely Federal Railroad Administration, aka the FRA, would nowadays have to impose the infamous 1472 day inspection every 15 years on every operational steam locomotive in the United States.
Oh wait, I have this other question too. This is another rec that I actually was having in mind. I remember that Railfan K-Train Productions, you made a rec about the two BNSF trains colliding each other in the camera. Like you said that the FRA was, they were the ones that investigated the accident instead of the NTSB, right? That's true.
Hold on for a minute.
BNSF trains
and
colliding each
also
other in the camera.
And
the
good,
car.
and as for you, Steamtown,
I haven't done that documentary.
Steamtown.
No, it was the Kesmick train accident.
I mean,
the Kesmick?
Yeah. Was it? And honestly, Trading Blount's favorite locomotive.
I remember like you said
was in better
investigation was led by the FRA.
Like freaking 3254 had a fast rate of 2 and a bearing, an offset cab.
Oh yeah,
a bent frame, rough ride, and fuel consumption. Quite a leftable excursion career, if I'm completely honest.
Oh yeah.
Well, so somebody on the other hand did not have a bent frame.
Look at my face.
It was in much better condition and overall.
Oh wait, I don't think it was you, Railfan, that actually did. It was the other guy that Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not me though. I never did the Kismet collision.
Yeah, you didn't do the Kismet actually. I remember now. You didn't.
Mikado,
no worries.
Jokes on them. Both 1278 and 3254. The 3254 and the 2317 are retired now.
Oh, Alicia, I see you're wearing a Malaysian Joba shirt.
With
wow.
Baldwin's 060 switcher number 26.
Oh, wow. I see your LA shirt.
Running condition too. And you guys like my Life is Teenage Robot shirt.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Not a bad shirt.
How come I didn't find that? No, I searched it up. I started searching for that shirt.
Maybe you should get that for Christmas, Manuel. Manuel, I would highly recommend you buying this for Christmas.
I will buy. Oh yes, definitely.
Well, for me, I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah.
And also, But
if I get my
unfortunately,
allowance, then yes,
the
because I
Boston
work a
Maine
part-time job, I get a
3713
paycheck,
Constitution, the
I have a
Boston Maine
part-time job.
Constitution, aka Boston Maine number 3713, will hopefully be taking 3254's place. And or the also, yeah, I mean, like it's like buying
But
a
bro,
new
like
car.
the reason
Just
that got me
someone's
into those train
one
wrecks was
happens to
because
have
the
engine problems, and
NTSB.
the
I
other
always
one
wanted
has
to
more
research about what they did.
horsepower than that four-wheel drive.
Well,
And
for me,
guys, you
I got
heard
interested
me.
in.
You crap and moan
yeah.
about 3254. You heard me crap and moan about it again.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the reason I got
also,
into those kind of train wrecks is because I want to find
and
out
like
what
I
caused
said,
the
we
accidents.
don't like the
Who are the people that
3254
investigated
because
the
of
accident instead
how
of
it
the
committed a
FBI?
sin when Steamtown traded the 1278 to you guys broken 3254 to Steamtown, which was an absolute sin to God, in my honest opinion, because it was a stupid ending, caused a stupid situation.
I mean, yeah, it was a stupid idea. I'm not gonna lie.
But I can imagine if 3254 actually didn't existed. Because imagine if it didn't existed, and well, due to its after its collision with Great Northern 1351, the 1351 was scrapped. Unlike the 1354, which was preserved, the 1351 was scrapped, and also the 1350. And also, the 1354 was still on running revenue service with its extremely bad mechanical problems that take it to the extreme. And it's satanic, sadistic, and the
Racing Seaboard, please stop.
Yes, please, bro.
Sorry.
Yes, see. Make sure to turn your camera off.
But like, this is something else that I also learned about the NTSB. They have a lot of history against the FBI, actually, because the FBI. I remember the train wreck that they investigated. And the FBI thinks it was terrorism.
Also, during
I know which one is it.
Revenue
I'm talking
service,
about the
when
big
it had
bayou wreck, actually.
It's abysmal.
All
Satanic and sadistic, and its absolute worst mechanical problems.
Design structures are actually the cause of accidents. If you didn't know, I know a lot of accidents that cause designer
fuel
problems.
consumption. Then I'd probably scrap 3254 instead of preserving it and preserve another Canadian.
Some engines have a lot of designer problems, dude.
Steam locomotive.
Yeah.
Powerful steam locomotive.
Yeah.
Well,
but like, and just out of curiosity too, like designer problems
I also have
lead up to accidents.
Socks. I have some Owl House socks. In case if you can't see them.
Find them, bro. I definitely need that for Christmas. I need that.
You can find them at Redbubble, and you can also get an Owl House shirt. You can mostly get an.
I already got an Owl House shirt when I went out of town. Actually, I found an Owl House shirt.
Guys, I have a secret.
Maybe you can buy one online. Which town did you saw an Owl House shirt?
It was actually somewhere in Phoenix. I went out of town. I went all the way to Phoenix for a visit.
Maybe you should go to Phoenix and get it for Christmas.
That's what I did. I went to a mall and I found it. I went to a mall. It was Hot Topic Mall, and I remember they used to sell this kind of cartoon shows, not just Stranger Things. They also sell Stranger Things items. They sell Owl House items. You name them. Every Nickelodeon show, like Danny Phantom,
Did you buy
Invader
some?
Zim, those shows.
Maybe you should get an Owl House shirt and a My Life as Teenage Robot shirt and a Danny Phantom shirt too.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted a Danny Phantom one because like I already have My Life as Teenage Robot shirt. I have the 2 shirts actually right now, but I want more though.
And do you want an Owl House one? You should get an Owl House.
I already have an Owl House
one.
actually.
And
Owl House already got one.
Do you have Danny Phantom?
Danny Phantom? No, that's the one I need.
You need Danny Phantom, including Hi Puffy Yumi too.
Oh yeah, I'll try finding that. Let's see if
I'll send you the link. It's on Redbubble because you can get it on Redbubble too.
Yeah.
And also, I want a Danny Phantom shirt next year in 2023 if I actually watch the series. Want to get Paramount Plus if I actually have the money.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually getting my money this time.
And Big City Greens too. Because I actually watch a lot of Big City Greens too. Okay, hi, Yummy.
Man.
And I also want to get the Nickel Plate Road 765 shirt and also a DeviantArt logo t-shirt.
They had a lot of history behind
Amtrak
their
too, and the London Northeastern
the
Railway
FBI was all over them an accident that happened recently.
And also, I want to get one of History in the Dark, the real fan training thesis YouTuber.
Oh, Alicia, by the way, in your live stream, are we going to discuss about other accidents, not just train wrecks? Can we also discuss other accidents that I have some that nobody knows about? I have a lot of accidents.
Can I also do it too?
Maybe I will do it in future live streams too.
In a future live stream, yeah, and I'll try we'll try making it more friendlier and not everything.
And also, Manuel, you should also get some Thomas stuff, and also you should get these.
Dude, I have a lot of Thomas stuff. I have a lot of Thomas shirts.
And you should get some. You should get some.
Dude, you're not alone. I have a lot of Thomas stuff too, like the track stuff.
I
mean, like you should get real fan stuff, like those Pentrax DVDs, those Pentrax DVDs that features the Southern Pacific 4449, and also the and that one Pentrax DVD that features Milwaukee Road 261, Union Pacific 3095, Paramount Cat 1225, The Real Pole Express, and Grand Trunk Western 6325 on the House Central. I'll show you where you can buy it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah. I'll try seeing if those links actually work.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching for Steamtown. See you later tomorrow.
Wow,
make sure to dress up for Halloween. Like I'm gonna be dressed up as Hunter from the Owl House too.
Stay safe.
Make sure to stay safe and make sure to dress up and stay safe tomorrow for this stream where we talk about the Gettysburg Road and crap on that road because of how evil and satanic, sadistic, and the absolute worst railroad they are. I think God didn't exist, but let's talk about it tomorrow.
All right. I'm ready.
But to make sure to wear your costumes tomorrow if you're interested. But anyways, make sure you guys like, comment, share my videos, subscribe, and click the notification button where the bell to be alerted when a new video is uploaded. You can also find my other platforms like TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord.
I never get Twitter actually because first of all, I got banned on my last Twitter account. I don't want to risk doing that again.
And also, don't forget to follow my Messenger and WhatsApp and DeviantArt and Tumblr and Spotify if I actually have it. Do you have Spotify, Manuel?
Tumblr, I'll try seeing if I can try having a Tumblr account, actually.
And also, make sure to also follow me on Page.
Dude, you have a lot of platforms, not going to lie in your channel. Dude. You have a lot of platforms.
Pixar and Pixif. And make sure to follow my patron, especially you, Railfan K-Train Productions, because you actually have it. You need to download the app first.
Are you making money, actually? Are you making money from Patreon?
Just like I haven't making money. But if you are planning to donate money, Railfan K Productions, then I'll be very happy for you.
Well, let's see if I can try donating a little bit of money. But if I can't donate money, then I'll spread the word.
And you can also PayPal me, Railfan K Productions.
All right. Let me say this. I'll look at them first, and then I'll consider. Okay.
The first one, Patreon, and then you can donate to PayPal me.
Right.
All right.
But anyways, and until next time, this is Amity Blind, SB4449, fan here. And I wish you all good luck, good night, and bye. I'll see you guys later.
That's all, folks.
Bye, everyone. That's all, folks.
Happy and Feliz Halloween and happy early Halloween.
Early Halloween.
Feliz early Halloween. My favorite
Stay safe, everyone.
And that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
God
See ya.
bless you all.
See you next Sunday. See you next.